All right.
We are live. I'll wait for the replay to catch up just a little bit here. And it should be going and flowing. I just want to say hello to everybody. It's a brand new week, and we have a very, very, very special guest. Now, I teased it earlier this week, remember? And we talked about who's going to be on Tish Talks Tech this week. Who's it going to be? We couldn't figure it out. I had a whole bunch of guesses, and I just want to say thanks so much for your interaction. Thank you for supporting the channel, and for mainframers that are new to Z, they always stop right here. So welcome to Tish Talks Tech. My name is 𝗬𝗂𝗃𝗀𝗃, and I'm your host. And today we have Sugam with us, graduating very, very, very soon from UNT, and getting ready to take on a brand new role. And we just cannot wait to hear about all of that. So this is going to be some really good, juicy, hot topics today as we speak with Sugam. And, Sugam, I appreciate you so much. We were talking earlier, and I have my handy dandy notebook here that I write everything down in. So, internet, don't come at me, because when you see me looking down, I'm definitely writing notes. Sugam, go ahead, and I want you to introduce yourself, but let me just hit the audience to what's happening here. You are a Z ambassador, IBM Z ambassador. You are in college. You're about to graduate. You are obviously killing it, crushing it on the mainframe. And you're doing this in such a way that most people just would be like, what? All this hard work? It's a lot of hard work. You put your hands on it. Why don't you go ahead and tell us about yourself? We're all ears.
Sure. Yeah, and thank you, Leticia, and hi, everybody. I'm really glad to be here. I think this is the first time I'm being interviewed by someone, so it's a personal feat for me. If you see me blushing, that's the reason why.
So happy to have you.
Right. My name is Sugam Kafle. I come from Nepal originally. I've been in the United States for a little over 5 years. I think I'm closing in on 6 years here. I came in 2017. And the first time I came here for civil engineering, which of course did not work out, obviously. I felt like physics and engineering, it wasn't for me. And then I moved to a community college, got my associates done. I worked for a while at Amazon, a warehouse, which is another completely different story. And then I moved to getting my bachelor's done in UNT, where I was introduced to mainframe, this entirely different thing, which has been going on for years and years and years. But I'm just being introduced to this new technology. And then I found opportunities in it. I saw that there is a big community associated with mainframe, and there are some very passionate people working in this industry. I felt like I'm fitting in so smoothly. It was effortless for me to fit in. And that has been, my entire college experience, how I started from civil engineering to ending up in mainframe.
That's really amazing. So all the way from Nepal, all the way here, school, you had, from what I'm hearing, that's a whole journey. The community college experience, the UNT experience. So I'm gathering that that transition when you matriculated, it was pretty easy, almost flawless, because I'm gathering what, DCCD up to UNT?
Yes, yes.
That's not bad. That's not bad at all. And so you just stuck with it and you're like, I like this, but I think this might be good. I find that the whole journey part is what gets me. It's the part that's most interesting, because a lot of people just do not get that you don't wake up as a technician. It calls you, right? And you feel it, but you don't just wake up and be like, oh yeah, I'm gonna go work on somebody's computer today. Right? So
yes.
Yeah, that's pretty cool. So I want to get into our questions, and you know, we have a few here and there, and I'll try not to take up too much of your time. But I'm so glad you're here, and I really just want to get like this whole circle of you. So, what inspired you to learn more about the mainframe technology?
It was different and it was new, so that was already, it piqued my curiosity. Like, what is this thing? And then my professor, he's been a big motivation in my college experience. He would give us extra credits for completing the 𝗬𝗍𝒀𝗍 challenges.
Oh.
And when I started working on them, it was like a considerable amount. Like if you did the 𝗬𝗍𝒀𝗍 challenges, that means you're probably getting an A, right? That's how important he made it for us. And when I started working on them, you're getting notified that, oh, you've finished a challenge. The aesthetic is very gamified, and then you collect points, and then you actually go into the website and see that you've done the challenge. It's very rewarding and satisfying, which you don't find it with assignments. I was actually, pushing my assignments aside because I was enjoying 𝗬𝗍𝒀𝗍 so much. And then I quickly got into my fundamentals, and then concepts was pretty much, just understanding the concepts behind a lot of the technology, and then advanced. And when I talked to my professor, he was like, this, not everybody does this. And it was, again, like, I didn't believe it, that I'm the only one in my classroom who's doing this, right? Because
are you kidding?
It's so fun. It's so fun, right?
Wow.
And so then my professor got this up. He heard about the IBM 𝗬𝗍𝗍𝗀 program.
Yeah.
And then immediately they're like, hey, I have 2 students who've got the advanced badge. I should present this opportunity to them. And then I said, hey, why not? Like, this sounds like me. And then after that, it was just learning more and more and more, for the purpose of advocacy as well.
Absolutely. Absolutely. So you caught the bug, you felt it. You went out to 𝗬𝗍𝒀𝗍, okay? Then you decided, hey, this feels nice. Oh, then there was that instant gratification piece because it's gamified. Oh, then also I'm getting badges, so I'm getting these rewards, if you will. And it's kind of nice when you see your name all fancy,
And to put it on LinkedIn, it's very satisfying.
Yeah, it's a whole thing. I love that. So I want you to, you've explained how you became fond of and interested in mainframe. I want you to express, what is mainframe computing in your own words?
So since I am a 𝗬 ambassador as well, right? I might sound like an advocate, but because learning about the mainframe, that's true. But right now, right? In answering your question, learning about the mainframe and advocating, it just went hand in hand for me personally. So I started understanding, hey, this is not outdated. This is a technology from the 60s, but it's very relevant still. And that we don't find it in small businesses. We see large corporations, big businesses using it. And data processing, storage, people or institutions that need high security, they're using this computer. And to me, it is a computer. Whenever I talk to my friends, I have to do this every time. Oh, so what position are you working at the Bank of America? It's mainframe analyst. And then I say, what they say, what is a mainframe? Okay, so okay, hear me out. Like I do my whole spiel. Mainframes are these technology from the 60s, but they're still relevant. They're a computer. To me, I see it as just any other computer like our laptops or our PCs, but they're just built for a different purpose. They're built for businesses who have high data processing and high data volume needs. That's how I look at the mainframe, even the physical structure, even the software behind it.
That's excellent. And what a great explanation. So now that we know what you think about what mainframes are in your own words, why don't you tell me about how do you think that this technology, how is it set apart? How is it different from distributed?
So definitely going back to my previous answer about how institutions use it, right? And especially the finance industry or healthcare and insurance. So already in terms of the amount of data that it works with, and we hear the term big data, and even that's an understatement in how much data there is in the world, right? But the mainframe, it's not just working with big data in chunks or in batches. It's live. It's every second, right? Billion credit card transactions. It's every second, doing it all the time. The 6 nines that we talk about, which is apparently going to become 7 nines now. It's that it is already set apart because of, like, it never goes down. There is no downtime. And just the amount of processing that it does, it's just so hard to even express it in words, because it's a billions and billions of transactions over a year that it's been doing every day, every 24/7.
Right.
Which we do not generally see in distributed technologies.
Right. And I love that you say that, how, there's billions and billions of transactions. Excuse me. I think a lot of folks don't realize you're not only looking at financial data, you're not looking at the money, you're also looking at let's say health records, let's say tons of really heavy top-loaded databases. You're looking at how information runs from left to right. It's really a big deal. And that's what I love about you all as the ambassadors. You're able to tell that, your demographic that, hey, this is cool. This is not just what you saw in some movie. You're not cracking the code. No, you're actually lifting and shifting nations, throughout the matrix, if you will. So so that's pretty nice. I appreciate that. Now, as far as your journey is concerned, right? What's been the most challenging part about learning about ZOS systems and mainframe?
I would say, and I don't know if people would disagree with me, the documentation. And it's been improving. It's been improving a lot, right? But the documentation, it's so difficult to understand it, because it's that knowledge. There has been a gap in, shifting that knowledge over from whoever did it, whoever wrote those COBOL programs, whoever wrote the code behind what we use today. I don't think it transferred over smoothly, which is now, like, we're trying to catch up, right? So if I'm working on a Java assignment, I know where to go. I know I can go to Stack Overflow. I know I can look up these resources, but it's not the same with mainframe. What if you get when we get JCL errors all the time in
Right.
our classroom working on ZExplore, and then you're lost because you don't know how to read the errors. You cannot search them on Google. You'll not be able to find how to solve a JCL error. You need someone with expertise to kind of show you the way and guide you. That has been a little difficult because I would like to believe that, hey, I can solve problems on my own, right?
Mm-hmm.
If I have an error, hey, what is this? I want to understand it. But then it's frustrating when you find, when it's difficult to find. It's not that I cannot find it, it's difficult to find it. And learning COBOL, that has been, uh, it has been difficult.
Mm-hmm.
And like I said, I don't consider myself a coder.
Mm-hmm.
Or I am interested in the concept, but coding does not come very easily to me. And
Mm-hmm.
then COBOL is just words and words and words, and there's so much logic behind it. You have to understand. That has been a little difficult for me to catch up to it. That would be, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. So let's just pause and take in everything that you just said right now. Number
Mhm.
one, I want to applaud you for your honesty about learning COBOL, about uh,
Thank you.
let's keep it 100% real. um,
Right.
Learning COBOL, about reading documentation. Um, so I love this conversation because I was there, right? Like, so
Mhm.
when I transitioned, it was one of those things where I was like, oh my gosh, this is not clippers and comb, or,
Mhm.
I'm not turning everybody blonde on the mainframe. That's not what it is,
Right.
right? So what I found was is that, yeah, you have to put your hands on it. You have to be able
Mhm.
to touch and feel and understand. And for me, it was a lot of YouTube. It was a lot of interskill. I mean,
Mhm.
down to the deep, deep depths. And also, once I started working, right, I stumbled across 𝗬𝗎Z. So IBM has
Mhm.
this community called 𝗬𝗎Z. And you may want to keep this like in the back pocket because it's going to save your soul almost. It's like, so, and when you go out to 𝗬𝗎Z, you can literally ask questions. You can
Uh-huh.
look at all of those videos, and it's people just like us that are brand new to the platform. And anything that you have questions about, I mean, like, I wouldn't put in like completely specific, right,
Mhm.
questions,
Mhm.
but
Right.
you
Right.
you know how to pose your questions on an online forum, and the people that are out there at 𝗬𝗎Z will actually help you. They'll be like, oh yeah, there's here's a video for that, or oh, the answer is this, or you have a message class X, but you want it to be H because you don't want it to, you don't want your jobs to just disappear on you. So there's things like that, very useful, very helpful, and it's a time
Mhm.
saver. And plus, I mean, it's a community, so you get to,
Yes.
meet other folks. The COBOL piece, the COBOL piece is different, right? Because you have so much to do in so very little time, and not
Mhm.
everybody's COBOL is created equal.
Mhm.
We have some really amazing programmers that sometimes they become, what's the word? Um, they become inventive. and
Uh-huh.
and
Okay.
they like to put in different things, and you're like, what does that mean? And then, and
Mhm.
there's no documentation or there's no comments, right? But you're gonna, as you go through, like, there's a ton of people that have videos out there, like Jeffrey Decker, Cameron, say, bunch of videos out on 𝗬𝗎Z. that can help folks that were in your situation. And of course, with 𝗬𝗡𝗎𝗓, you can go out there too. But I just want to say thank you for being very, very honest about that. And because a lot of folks will just kind of skate over and be like, oh no, COBOL was great. It was so easy. You know, I put that period at the end of the sentence and everything was fine. It just ran. I didn't get.
Yeah, I don't know how. I don't know how my professor would react to this. He's worked at it a lot more than, like, he works a lot for his class, and then the periods, missing the periods, it's like every other assignment I do that, and I'm frustrated, and then finally I send it to my professor. Hey, can you figure out what's wrong with this? And it's like, you're missing a period.
Yeah.
It makes you feel so stupid, but like, and you know, next time, like, you know, hey, the period, is it there? Right.
It's the period.
So it's the learning curve is a little longer or bigger. I don't know how you would say it with.
Right. And it's hard because it's all like, it's sentences. It really is sentences. And for us, I know I do a lot of texting and a lot of emojis. So when I first started, I was just like, wait, oh, I have to write a sentence. Oh, you know, so it's kind of, I know it might sound stupid, but that's kind of where I was. So yeah, you know what? Rock on, Sugam. Rock on, because that's pretty dope. I like it. All right. So let's see here. Now, you were talking about Java and knowing where to go, right? And then we talked about how it's kind of like up and down as far as the documentation is concerned and finding your resources. What do you hope to see, like, within 10 years for programmers and people that work within the ecosystem? Where do you see the mainframe evolving to?
I would say, since our generation, millennials and Gen Z, that's what the program is for, right? That's who we are advocating to because we're not advocating to just anybody, because we want students to kind of get interested in this and kind of carry on the torch, right, with mainframe. I at least expect, like when you mentioned YouTube, more YouTube videos, right? That are more not just explaining the how to do the technical part, but they're explaining what the concepts is, like the 𝗬𝗡𝗎𝗄 concepts, right? But in a much more distributed fashion, so that more people are accessing it easily, because there are like right now, in terms of IT and technology, there's so many resources out there, even on YouTube, right? And so people who are even not interested in technology, like maybe they're biology majors, they could just quickly watch a video and they could understand, oh, hey, this is what Java is about, right? Yeah. I would love to see that for mainframe, where they at least are aware of what the technology is, so that they know, oh, this is what runs the ATM machines and the credit cards. And this is how the data flows from the credit card to the bank. And then immediately when I send when I Zelle someone money, like how do they get it immediately, right? So it would be just to understand those concepts behind it. And I think it would be interesting, because it's not just tech and coding and numbers and the acronyms, right? I think more people would enjoy understanding what's the ideas behind mainframe.
Absolutely. And I love that you used the Zelle reference, because a lot of folks, you've got there's Zelle, PayPal, Venmo, what else? Cash App. There's tons, and people just are not getting it. Like, they're like, well, the money's just there. No, there's an actual process. You might have a little MQ in there somewhere. There might be a little IBMI in there somewhere. So, you know, it's nice to be able to just know that, okay, I know that my money is processing, or I know that those Jimmy Choos that I ordered are on their way, because, you know, So
Right.
that's a cool
Yeah.
thing. That's a very cool thing. Now, I want to talk a little bit about your free time. And I think that it's really important for individuals to understand that we as technologists, professionals, are not just completely heads down, right? Like you're not stuck in your room just with the hoodie on and the rainbow lights, and you're just
The rainbow lights, yeah.
Now, I do have a room that has the desk and the rainbow lights for when I'm really in that
Okay.
that mindset. But
Uh-huh.
it's important for people to know. So, do you think any of your non-technology interests or hobbies have influenced the approach of how you learn and how you really approach this technology?
Mhm. So my non-technical, I would say I can't talk about interests because I'm interested in music. I'm interested in reading books, right? I don't know if they have an impact on my approach to mainframe,
Mhm.
but just generally I am someone who likes to solve problems or I see things analytically, right? That has been a huge help in approaching to especially learning a new technology. Let's say, okay, I can give you an example of languages. So since English is not my first language, it's Nepali. And then I also understand Hindi because we're so close to India and we grew up understanding a lot of their culture
Mhm.
and watching movies. Um, and I've just been from a very small age interested in languages, right?
Mhm.
So going into COBOL or understanding how the JCL codes are working, it is a language that you have to be so comfortable with that next time you see a memory dump or the error message, then you immediately know, like, I don't have to read this. I don't have to read and take it in. I know what this is about.
Mhm.
That is what being fluent in a language is, right?
Mhm.
Unfortunately for me, I've not reached that level with Java or Python, any of the coding languages. But I think it does. I get that approach from the problem solving approach or
Mhm.
thinking analytical.
That's excellent. That is pure excellence. And um, you know, there goes your. I guess that's a homie. That's a part of the crew.
Mhm.
But
That's someone in mainframe as well.
yeah, I figured it out. um, but yeah, I love that you talk about the music, you talk about the languages. That's a whole thing. There's a lot of mainframers that are outside right now that do some really amazing, intense things with
Mhm.
music and history and photography, and they find that. I know for myself, I love music. I love it a lot, and so like with your teaser, I had Funky Town on there, and I
Uh-huh,
was able
uh-huh,
to count the measures and get the get
okay.
the lights to flicker with that. But I think that that's really awesome that knowing being having all of these languages under your belt, being able to understand that this is not something as far as like COBOL or any other programming languages, Python. Uh, it's not something that you're just going to build in a day, but it's like a language. You have to literally
Mhm,
go out and feel it, touch it, interact, and you
mhm.
get better. That's such a good message. So tell me this though: do you have any like favorite books or video games that may have a little bit of influence on your mainframe journey?
I like So I've been trying to read a lot nowadays. I wouldn't say I have a favorite because I'm still every time I read something new, it's like, oh, I love it. right?
Yeah.
But there have been some sci-fi classic literatures that I've read that have sort of set the foundation for what I want to read, right? There's this book called Fahrenheit 451. It's very, you know, sci-fi, end of the world kind of thing,
Ooh,
where books are burned, where nobody's allowed to own books, and
not fair.
it's a very, you know, philosophical
Yeah.
um, concept too, and so
Sounds deep.
definitely those yeah, deep stories where it really makes you think, right? Those
Hmm.
are something I enjoy. And I would say, as far as Mainframe, I see a lot of Mainframe being mentioned in Doctor Who. Doctor Who is a show I really, really love.
Stop.
And
Stop. Don't. Who's your favorite doctor?
Matt Smith.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. I'll take that. Mine, Matt Smith is a different type of doctor for me, but mine is
Yes.
David Tennant.
Okay, David Tennant. Yeah, I liked him
Both
for the
very good
longest
actors,
time
by the
too.
way.
Yes, yes. David Tennant, I liked him for a very long time. And then when it's not that Matt Smith's doctor, he's very different. He 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 does he does not portray himself as a doctor, right?
Mm,
The years and years, like thousands of millions of years of what he has been portrayed as, he just tries to run away from his own identity. And in doing that, he's had a lot of trouble. So
yeah.
it's really, I really like his character arc, how he's built. And after him, I sort of fell down. I didn't watch the show as much. I haven't watched the older Doctor now.
Mm-hmm.
I might
Peter
catch up to it, but
Capaldi. Yeah.
mhm.
You know, I'm feeling you. I understand. I get that. How is Mainframe and Doctor Who special to you? Especially with Matt Smith, because that's the very first time that we actually were able to go inside of the TARDIS, right? And
Uh-huh.
really see the workings. Like we've seen it before, but Matt's Doctor, we really got to see inside. So what do you think? Because Mainframe is a lot like that. It's a heck of a lot bigger on the inside.
Right. I didn't think about it that way. Yeah, I guess it is, right? It's a lot bigger on the inside. And when you look at it from the outside, you never know, you will never expect to see that, right? And but even in some of the episodes, they'll talk about the Mainframe, right? Oh,
Yeah.
we have to go into the and for them it's like the central server, whatever it is that's controlling everything, right? So I
Yeah.
hear it a lot, and I'm like, hey, Mainframe, hey, they know. It feels like, hey, represent, right?
Right.
Yeah, it's
G
just, it's, I
systems.
don't know much about I don't know much about the technology, how they would be similar, but
Yeah,
it does get referenced a lot.
it does. It does. Uh, I'm not going to sit here and nerd out about the similarities of the Mainframe and the TARDIS, but when I first when I first saw Matt's character and they were talking about how they had done the whole inside, the eye of the TARDIS was a very hyper white light, and
Uh-huh.
there was all these different components, and I was like, oh wow. I bet you that takes a ton of CPU. Oh wow! I mean, it was just, I was all over it. So yeah, so I guess like uh the TARDIS could be like, I don't know, like our
Uh-huh.
new C16s or rock hopper or anything, but it's just that
Hmm.
piece right there. I can do this all day. Let's not though. So uh
Yeah, yeah.
let me see here now. What about like podcasts and blogs and things? What are you into right now?
Um, Technology related or non-technology related?
I'm trying to find out about you, my friend. about
Um,
you. What makes you the best? You know, what has you all prepared and hyped up for your mainframe journey? And you know, that could be if you told me that, you know, listening to the Wu-Tang Clan playlist gets you pumped for
uh-huh.
ZOS. Let's
It
hear it. I'm here for you. Let's
that would
go.
definitely pump me for
For
ZOS.
sure.
I love Wu-Tang Clan. Um, as far as podcasts or blogs, I go to LinkedIn. LinkedIn is my
Yeah.
resource for that, right? Because we have such a big community. And you mentioned the Rock Hopper. Whenever this new frame mount system came out, I didn't know about it. And then every single post is about the new frame rack, how it can be mounted on a rack. And I was like, what is going on? Am I missing something? Right. And then I can read about it. If somebody posted just like an announcement, then the next post will be a deep dive about um, how it is helping companies meet sustainability standards. Right. So
Mhm.
already just by scrolling through a few posts, there's so much information there. And then I am also very interested in AI.
Mm.
I almost thought that I would go the AI route, just take machine learning, do a master's in AI or something. I don't know what, I guess mainframe. It just I stuck to mainframe rather than going into AI, but I'm still interested in the concept behind it and simply the idea of artificial intelligence. And there's a lot of blog posts or like new emerging technologies that show up on my feed, and I kind of follow them around and see like, okay, what is this? How did they create this technology, or what's going on in AI? And now you can do all kinds of stuff. You can edit a video live. You could be
Mhm.
taking a picture of a tree, and then you can completely change that tree into something else, and it just seems so magical, like the things that you're doing. Um, and another, just very interestingly, not it might not be highly related to AI, but biotechnology is also something that's on the rise, and it's very interesting to see, like how people, um, like amputees, people who don't have arms or legs, they're using prosthetics, but they're able to control it by sending electrical
Mhm.
signals. And it's
Mhm.
just so interesting that how the world is advancing, and not just, it's everybody advancing together.
Yeah.
Yeah, you see you see the telem processor, and you see the artificial intelligence unit in the mainframe, right? So it's not just one industry trying to get the benefits of AI, it's every other industry. So just across technology, it's interesting to see how people are using AI to kind of move forward.
Yeah. I love that you mentioned that. There's like I have a friend that came home the other day and they were like, yeah, like my pain management, I have this thing in my back and it's got wires. And I'm like, what?
Hmm.
Are you sure? He's
Hmm.
like, yeah, it's great, you know. And then of course, like with the whole AI thing, like there's like this predictive performance, like at the Masters, you know, when
Hmm.
uh, the people that deal with the Watson and all of that, like they could predict, literally predict based on how you walk across the green, how well you're going to play. Can you
Hmm.
imagine? You know,
Hmm.
it's a little Doctor Who-ish, if you will, right?
Hmm.
But but this is the stuff that's so hot. It's so hot right now. It's so hot right now. And folks just, I wish that everybody would just kind of like jump on board and be like, oh, I recognize what this is now. It's actually happening. We are literally living in the George Jetson era. If you ever watch that cartoon,
Hmm.
that means that you're a part of the goat crew, and that's gonna be cool. But hey, shout out to the folks that used to watch George Jetson. You know who you are. So
George Jetson.
let's go about and talk about a little bit about the career focus in the little bit of time that we have left. Um,
Hmm.
what I want to know is, how do you stay motivated and focused on your goals in a rapidly changing rapidly changing environment.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
So what do you think?
Yeah, I can even give you an example of that. When I talked about AI, I was very interested in it, and I did a research project. It was using Word to Vec. Sorry, it was a project where we vectorize something, and it can be anything. We vectorize words, and then the model can find similarities, right?
Nice.
And that was so interesting to me to see how natural language processing is working. And then after a semester, ChatGPT came out, and then it was like, why did I even bother, right? I mean, I'm glad I took the initiative to understand the technology,
For sure.
but now now it's like it's right here. I don't have to go create a model and do all these coding, like write code in Python. It's already here. And then, like, ChatGPT Plus came out, and it's just like, how do you keep up? I have this problem all the time. Even even along, like, before, when we would talk about, hey, we're going into IT, or if I would talk to my parents about, okay, I'm going to switch to IT, I know, like, the skills that are the technologies that I learn
Yeah.
will be irrelevant in the next 10 years, right? Not maybe not irrelevant, but it'll be updated already.
Right.
And it's
Yeah.
a lot of catching up to it. You have
Right.
to keep advancing your skills. But in our mind, as, let's say, college students, we're like, we graduated, that's it, I don't want to go to a class ever again. That's what we think, right? But it's not true, because in IT, you will keep having to learn, and it never stops. The learning never stops. So it's just trying to find what you like.
Yep.
Right. And then specializing a little in that field, and then the rest of it, the other technologies that come and go, you could be sort of aware of it, right? You know what it's about, what cloud computing is about, and how AI works, machine learning, and all that stuff. But you have this one niche, your foundation, where you'll keep building new skills, right? Because you can't do it all. That's something I've realized in my college experience. It is not possible for me to learn AI and mainframe and Java and Microsoft Azure and all these. It's too much, right? We got to find something we like, and then take those other technologies along with us, so that we're not completely blindsided by them, but at least we're aware.
Right. Yeah. And building awareness is the name of the game. And I love how you've expressed that, I know that I am a human, and I can't do it all.
Right.
I'm not a machine,
Right.
but I can enjoy machine learning and AI and God knows what else, that in and of itself will bring a lot of comfort to many people. And especially the viewers that watch this show, because a lot of times as new ones, we think, well, why is it that I don't know how to use this technology, or I don't know how to sign in, or I don't know how to, whatever the case may be. Don't fret, because it's not something that you have to learn. You don't have to learn all of that right now. You just need to really be aware, right? And have the willingness to open up to it. So you've expressed that in a very, very good way. So
thank you.
Before we get ended here, I want to talk a little bit about just authenticity and just a little about Sugam as the technologist on the outside, and Sugam on the inside. So how do you balance your personal growth and development with your professional aspirations? So that could be, of course, we know you're going to graduate college. We know that you've already got the bomb.com job. So how are you balancing all of this? Because this is a lot, even right now.
Yes, even through college, I've seen that difference. I always tell my friends. So I have my group of Nepali friends, right? I have this Nepali community who are my family, my home, and I'm a certain personality with them, right? I'm not this mainframe guy. Right? It's a little different because they're my closest friends, and then I have so many amazing, cool friends in school that I've made new friends now, and it almost felt like I'm living two lives because I go to school, I enjoy this everything. I enjoy talking to my professors, just wearing professional and networking and just being in that business mindset. I really enjoyed that. And then I come back home and it's like the language is different, the culture is different. Whereas if in school I'll have to talk to sometimes you'll have to talk to some people in a little street English,
Yeah.
because it's not, I didn't grow up speaking English. I was taught English, right? So my English is very formal, and when I talk to my friends, I can't be talking very formally because they'll feel like, hey, you're old, and I don't want to come off as old.
They're gonna
And
say
so,
you old. They're gonna say, "Hey, you're old."
well, it just sounds very formal, right?
Okay, okay, I gotcha. Like
So
like
I'll have to
like an older
adjust
professional
a bit.
person,
Yes,
like a
yes.
manager. I got it. Keep going.
Yes, exactly. So I'll have to adjust a bit, and
Yeah.
then when you're in that mindset, I'll have to come back home, and then again, like it's different, right? So there, it is very difficult to find that healthy balance.
Yeah.
But what I've seen helps is that you come first, right? It's You have to be comfortable with yourself first, right? And for me, it came out of going to school and being able to talk to people because I did tours for the building. I was a tour guide. So I was comfortable speaking to people and large groups, but I was not put in a room with parents and students who I have to now explain, hey, this is the College of Business and this is what our university does. And sometimes the technology shuts down on us, right? The projector isn't working. And now I'm sweating, literally sweating because I'm scrambling, like, I don't know how to fix it. It has happened to me so many times that now I can just relax. Like, so if something happens, I'll be like, hey, we'll see if we can figure it out. And I can come up with what I want to say. I can make them comfortable, right? Before it was very awkward. If
Yeah.
I slip up or something, it would be like, oh no, I made a
Oh.
mistake, right? But then now I can easily backtrack and go and say, hey, I think I said something wrong there. Let me correct it and move on with it, right? So now that I'm comfortable in myself, in my skin, I'm comfortable in both those areas, in school and in here back in my personal life. So going into the workforce, I just hope that I can maintain that same balance between my personal life and my professional life.
I'm sure you will. I see your future so bright right now, and I'm just so proud of you and happy that I was able to meet you at a time where, like we've talked before, you were so vocal and so this is what I think, and I loved that. I said,
Thank
that's
you.
the one, and
Mhm.
I think when you start working, you're going to take that with you. It's going to stay with you. So,
Mhm.
just keep it in your pocket. Keep it in your pocket. It's going to be fantastic. Can you tell me? I know that you like music. I know you have friends. How do you unwind?
Mhm. I play the guitar.
Nice.
If I come home from work or school, and if I don't want to do anything, I'll just play the guitar, and it easily takes at least I'll easily spend like 2 hours just sitting there. So, and at the end of that 2 hours, I'll feel like, well, this was a very productive time because I got to
Yeah.
rest, I got to enjoy, and now I can make dinner, and
Yeah.
now I can work on homeworks. So it's just playing the guitar, and I've been learning the piano as well. I have a
Nice.
keyboard, and learning the piano is so difficult, right? And I can't read music. That's something I
Really?
can't do.
Okay.
But just to get yourself used to it, it takes a lot of attention. It takes a
Yeah.
lot of focus. So when I'm on the keyboard, I'm not thinking about assignments, work, bills and loans and debts. I'm not thinking about that. I'm just trying to get these notes together,
Mm-hmm.
right? So yeah, music is probably the best way for me to unwind. And if not, recently I found that in books,
Yeah.
just
Yeah.
reading. Yeah.
I love that. So tell me about this then. Since now you're going to graduate, you graduate on the 12th, right?
Yes.
If I was still in Dallas, I would take you to a really cool place for dinner. You and maybe 4 friends, but I'm not there, so don't count on it. But hopefully somebody's gonna take you out and show you a really good time. That's first thing. Second thing, congratulations in advance.
Thank you.
Again, what you've done, your entire journey is golden. What you have done, probably a couple more than a million people have never done before. So the whole, Nepal, the States, getting education, finishing, having goals, making connections, being awarded, rewarded, and then that ultimate thing of getting a job, right? And not just any job. You're fixing to be the main squeeze over at BOA. I'm just so proud of you. And I think the community is proud of you too. And I really appreciate how you took the time today to tell us your real experience. The COBOL, I can move around with Python. Don't expect the best, but it's going to get you there. I got it. I feel the same way. I love how transparent you've been. I love that you really like Doctor Who, and I'm okay with Matt Smith. I'm with you.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I like a lot how you explain the connection of your love for music with how the mainframe and the love for music kind of go hand in hand for you. You're able to understand because it just clicks that way. It's there for you. So before we go, tell me about being a Z ambassador. So being an IBM Z ambassador is a lot of responsibility, and not everybody can do it. You've done it flawlessly. So how has being a Z ambassador, how has that experience prepared you for what you're about to do over at Bank of America?
I might correct you in saying I don't think I'm flawless, because there was so many things I wanted to do with being an ambassador in my school. I don't think, because there are some ambassadors who are doing great work in their schools. They're building a community in their schools. I wanted to do that while I was in school, but I sort of detoured. I went because I have this another interest in consulting. IT consulting, which is another one of my interests, and I started a club in that sphere. So there was a lot of more things I wanted to do. I want to introduce some Nepali students to mainframe, like how I was introduced, right?
Yeah.
Now I will in the future. Definitely, that's something I want to do. But being an ambassador back then, I didn't get to do as much of it. So, and like you said, yes, it is a lot of responsibility. But the program in itself, it's not just advocating for the mainframe, it's advocating for you as well, right? So honestly I feel a little selfish because with IBM, the Z ambassador program, more than advocate, I've kind of gone the personal brand route, where like personal development route, right? I was more concerned about, hey, what am I getting out of this program, as opposed to what am I giving to this program. So, and it worked out very well for me, because I'm much more confident because of the program. And even my professor knows. He says that the confidence was there, but when you became an ambassador, that you could see the difference, that he could see the difference in me, that okay, now you're much, better suited to go talk to people. And he also gave me some opportunities to speak. When we have a 𝗬𝗍𝗄𝗧 event on our campus, he let me speak on the stage. And those are all just great ways to, that's how you learn.
Yeah.
Right. And every single person I see, I'll tell them, hey, I'm very interested in public speaking. I'm interested in public speaking. I keep telling that, so that I'm reminding them, and then I'm reminding myself, right? That this is also something that I don't want to lose touch from. So it's been a lot of personal development, becoming an ambassador, a lot of connections, network, and because this community, I've enjoyed this community. And honestly, I think that even as human beings, that's what we really need at the end of the day, right? When we come back home, you want to be with your family, and if your family is too much for you, you want to go outside, meet your friends, right? Have a good time. And then sometimes you want to be in some kind of events, programs. You want to be recognized. We had some of our professors retiring, and just the love that those professors received since they were retiring, I was just so overwhelmed. It was not for me, but I was very happy for them. And I
you
could
were
see,
celebrating them.
Yes. And I could totally understand how someone would give 40 years of their life in a single position, and then at the end of the day, like, to get all that love from people, like that's why you do it. Right. So I enjoy the community. I think I've benefited from that, and then personal development. And now I want to be able to give back, so that I can again keep learning, right? And then I can help these new ambassadors, and someone who might be interested in BCIS, or like I mentioned, some students from Nepal who I want to see them benefiting as much as I did.
That's awesome. You've got so many opportunities to share you. And I love that the Z Ambassador program was a tool to help you to be able to formulate, this is me, right? And I think that self-development is critical, especially when you're trying to come into your own as a professional. And in the technology space, it's hard. It's hard to do, because you have this whole thing of, well, I don't know enough, or I haven't learned that part. But utilizing the Z Ambassador program, being accepting your nomination, going through and actually doing the work, you crushed it. You crushed it. So thank you so much for that. Now, before we stop, I just want to know, do you have any shout outs? Anybody special you want to holler at real quick?
Yes. My school, UNT, University of North Texas, go Mean Green. My ITDS department, Information Technology and Decision Sciences, who has the mainframe program, and who has placed so many students in so many amazing jobs. Big shout out to them. They're doing a great job. And anyone from Nepal, if you're listening, if you're watching, like, it's possible. It's possible.
Say it again for the people in the back. One more time.
That's right. It is very much possible. You can do it. Like, anybody can. And I would say, don't hold yourself back. I've made that mistake, but I've learned. And, just keep doing what you do and be patient. I think things work out in the end. Eventually, they do. And you just have to put a lot of trust in yourself.
That's some wisdom That's some wisdom that everybody needs, no matter where you are in your career.
Mhm.
Sugam, I want to say thank you. Thanks so much for coming and sharing your realness. When people hear me talk a lot and I'm like, no, we got to keep it real. We got to keep it. You definitely kept it real today. So happy that you came by. So thank you so much.
Yeah, thank you. And thank you so much for doing this, considering, when you texted me, you said, I liked your story and I would like to interview you. And I was like, which story? Like, just like me coming here and just studying and graduating, like what story? That's what I felt. And I'm like, okay, if someone can read something about me and feel like, hey, this is interesting, that means I am doing interesting stuff. So kind of, this is going to be a big motivation to me, right? Moving forward as well. So thank you. Thanks a lot for doing this.
Well, this is like the first of a ton for you. Believe you me, because you are now outside. So thank you so much. And I really do appreciate you coming by. And let me just tell the viewers, thanks so much for hanging out. Today was a whole hour. Can you believe it? And we were able to speak with the one and only Sugam, graduating May 12th, UNT. He's got a job, y'all, a tech job, a mainframe job, Z ambassador from Nepal, here in the US, just crushing it. Would we say we were crushing it with the eagle paw? Or what? Eagles don't have paws.
It's the
claws.
Talons. They call it talons.
Look, we're outside. It's all good. So I thank everybody for hanging out and tuning in today with Tish Talks Tech. Tune in next time, and we're out. Bye.
Thank you. Bye.